She looks a little tired out in front now, Fenella Britton. So this, 3.7 kilometres, so that was slower than the previous one from the Irish woman in the front. Kidane with Defar and Dibaba just picked things up a little bit, 3 or 4 just dropping off the group one by one.
Yes, they are closing it. I just hope that because of what she's done, Fenella Britton can actually react to the fact that they come alongside and she can stay somewhere in there, because they are now within 20-25 metres of her, as you can probably see, and they have slowly but surely broken down that significant advantage that went from 100 metres to 70, 100 yards to 70 and down, and they are now closing.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Stuart. I don't think she's going to pick it up when they go past. It's very, very difficult when you've been out in front like that, and then you've sort of settled into a rhythm, and you've had a bit of a go, and then athletes moving at a completely different pace come past you. And it's yes, you want to try and hang on, but it's easier said than done. Certainly the quality of the women are going to pass her now. So Kidane, Defar, Dibaba moving up closer, Yalu and Burka all together, all teammates, and Fenella Britton just watches as they go by. I think she's going to be able to do. It's still a very, very slow pace, though, given what these women are capable of. And it's, as I said, if I sound frustrated, I apologise, but I was hoping to see something a bit better, because all we're going to get here is what we already know, that they can run fast on the last lap, and it'll be close. And I think all they're going to be doing here is Dibaba's going to be able to test to see whether she can outkick Defar. There's no Vivian Chariot here today who might outkick both of them, but I suppose it'll be a little bit of a benchmark for Dibaba. She hasn't really been put into this position for a while. And as I said, in that 10,000 metres against Florence Kiplagat on the last lap, at her best, I think she would have run away in a much more impressive style than she did in Eugene last week. So I'll be interested to see what she can produce on the last 500 or 600 metres today.
Kidane leads, Dibaba in second, Defar third, being overtaken by Burka. This group away now, and the margin between them and the young woman who led for most of the race thus far, Fenella Britton, is now 30 or 40 metres. 3 laps to go.
Well, they're 4 of the greatest distance runners Ethiopia has produced. Kidane is former cross-country champion. Got Burka, and then the 2 big names really, Defar and Dibaba. And for the first time, Dibaba moving to the front. I think this is interesting, isn't it? It's interesting to see that Dibaba is thinking, okay, I might not have the speed to outkick over the last 200-300 metres, so I'm going to make it a bit of a pretty long run from home. It's going to be over the last 1,100 metres or so, just coming through with 1,000 to go, 2.5 laps, and she hasn't really done too much damage. The quality of these 3 behind her, that's not something, the pace that she's injected there. She's going to have to keep that going, keep the pressure on, keep her foot down, and hope that it wears them down, and then produce something over the last couple of 100 metres as well. So Dibaba leading them and putting some pressure on for the first time. Just under 3 minutes that previous kilometre. And if you think that that's normally their comfortable running pace, if you like, that was the quickest kilometre of the race. Kidane just wants to have another go. She maybe feels as though Dibaba hasn't done too much there, so she's at the back of that group. So 800 metres to go.
So free-flowing, isn't she, Dibaba? She really does eat up the ground. Her striking seemingly to increase as she goes into the back straight there. It's wonderful to watch such talent.
66, that previous 400 metres, and then she's kicked on from that, and that's what it's done. It's opening up the gap, and that 66 was just enough. It was just the taster, if you like. That was the pressure being applied, and then you keep moving at that pace, and you try to pick it up again, and that's what it does. Kidane and Burka disappearing, and the big 2 away into the distance now with about 550 metres to go. Dibaba there to be shot at, there for Defar to work off, there for Defar to try and outkick, and of course she's been successful with Vivian Chariot. Will she be able to take on a big teammate here? Dibaba mustn't fancy her chances at all. That's why she's doing this, that's why she's pushing it on, and the crowd responding to these 2. But we're going to see yet another last lap burn-up between Dibaba and Defar. 64.5 for that lap. The pressure increases. Defar looks behind, she's broken, she's gone, and this has been a clever piece of running from Dibaba. Not the blistering pace, not the blistering acceleration, but a gradual winding up, and Dafar is broken, and Dafar slips away into the background and knows that she's back. Her big teammate there, Dibaba, might not be at her best yet, might not be flowing as fully as we've seen her in the past, but this is a pretty good performance. One last little look back, she'll be delighted to see that gap. And she's kicked sub 60-second laps in the past. She hasn't had to do that today. It's been a different type of finish. It's been a disappointing race overall, really. They will dip under 15 minutes or so, and Dibaba herself, though, has been impressive in these last 2.5, 3 laps or so. So Dibaba wins it. Just under 51 the winning time. Dafar will take second spot, and Burker, a long way behind, will come in third. Well, I don't know how much that told us. It might give us an indication of what Dibaba might think it's going to take if she was to outkick one or two others. And of course, I'm probably talking mainly about Chariot. Yes. It may well be that we see Dibaba employ that sort of tactic, but that was better for me. I mean, it's hard off a slow pace to gauge how good somebody is, what sort of shape they're in, but has been a good week for her. A good 10,000-meter win in Eugene, solid performance up there, in a pretty quick time. Not so quick over 5,000 meters here, but a very impressive last 1,000 meters.
Yes, indeed, as they went into that last, it was to begin with, it was a subtle increase of pace, and then, of course, Dafar just couldn't stay with it, and this was the point at which, as they went into the back straight, that's the point at which the decisive action was made, and Dibaba was away, and away in some style. Very, very nice, beautiful, majestic run into the home straight now, and sub 15 off a early pace. That was negative split, wasn't it? Because that was so slow the first half of the race. And another win. And you talk about Chariot. Yes, what a race that promises to be in the Olympic Games.
Well, the last kilometre, 2 minutes and 40 seconds, give or take a couple of hundredths. And that's very good. That's very, very good. That's very impressive running from Dibaba. She ran a 66 and a 64. Okay, I'm working in about a 61.5 last lap in there. As I said, the last 1,000 was 2:40. Very, very strong running from Dibaba.